A motorcycle is 40 miles ahead of a car. The motorcycle is traveling at 40 miles per hour. The car travels at a rate of 60 miles per hour. When will the car be ahead of the motorcycle? So let's analyze this situation. So first of all, we already know this is a car 1. Let's say is in distance 1. And let's say we have here one distance to destination whenever they are going. And let's say here is a car D2. So they are going in this direction. But now we want to find, for example, this distance between car and motorcycle is D, which is a 40 mile per hour. 40 mile, just a 40 mile is the distance. Okay, so just let me erase this a little bit. So it's a 40 mile, the distance. If we want now to find out the distance here, so this distance, if we are looking at this distance 2 is this distance, okay? If we are looking at the distance 1 is going to be, so this distance D1. So this is a D1, this is a D2, and D is this distance here. If we are looking at this distance D, so D is going to be D1, all this distance, D1 minus D2, So from this dimension we can conclude D is D1 minus D2. But we already know from the physics, the velocity is distance divided by time. And now we want to write those D1 and D2 in terms of V and T. So if we are multiplying everything by T here, we already know distance is V times T. Okay, so this is important for us. And now instead of D1, so D is equal, instead of the D1 we write in V1. So let me write V1 times T. Time is a constant what they are going, but the velocity is changing for the car and for motorcycle. And here is a V2 times T. And now we want to find this time. How much is going, when is going to be this equal time, or when there are the distance, or when these two cars are going at the same position. So here now we are factoring T, V1 minus V2, and we divide everything by V1 minus V2. When we divide everything by V1 minus V2, so we can write V1 minus V2 this side, same thing in the other side, V1 minus V2. So this we can simplify, and T is equal with a D divided by V1 minus V2. At this time, the car and the motorcycle are going to be in the same position. So this distance is going to be 0. But to find the time now, we are just plugging in the numerical values. So for the distance it was 40 miles. Just let me go a little bit up. So the distance was 40 miles, V1 was 60 miles, and V2 was 40 miles. And we are going down and we are plugging in those numerical values. So here was 40 miles, and down was 60 miles minus 40 miles per hour. So mile divided by hour. So mile with the mile we can simplify, and T is equal with the 40 divided by 60 minus 40 is a 20, but this is hour is down, hour goes up, hour, and when we divide everything, T is going to be 40 divided by 20 is 2 hour. In 2 hour they are going to be in the same position. But the question here is when will car be ahead of the motorcycle? The car will be ahead of the motorcycle. So just let me go a little bit up. So the car will be ahead of the motorcycle at any point when T is greater than 2 hours. So if a time is more than 2 hours, at that time the car is going to be ahead of the motorcycle.